Hey lovelies, welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back to my YouTube channel. I would like to tell you guys a story that happened 6 years ago, and sometimes we still talk about it. On a Sunday in 2013, my mother and sister-in-law asked us if we wanted to go to a spiritual fair. I have always been interested in spiritual stuff and said yes because I really wanted to go. Van and I sat in the backseat chilling, and rain was pouring outside, and we were just driving and driving. I have never been in that area before, and I had no clue where the fuck we were going. It's like in the middle of nowhere and we're going there, and I was a bit excited and not knowing what would happen since I never went to a spiritual fair. We arrived there and we parked the car, and the windshield wipers were still going like cray, and then we tried to turn it off, and then when it was still going like this, it stopped halfway. And we were like, oh no, this isn't good. We just went and left the car because we didn't give a fuck. We just wanted to go to the spiritual fair. We walked towards this church and we went inside, and it was an amazing church. Like, we all appreciate some great architecture and all that sort of stuff. And if you've never been to a spiritual fair before, here's a picture, hopefully. And we just started walking around and checking out what the people were doing, selling, and just showing a bit of interest in what they were doing. And yeah, there were a lot of stands with people selling their products like gemstones, but minerals, crafts, because they created their own stuff as well, and mainly they gave their services to us, right? Like you have mediums, and people did stuff with cards, like tarot cards. They laid them out for you and explained what was going on with them, analyzing your dreams, for example. And my mother and sister-in-law went one way, and Finn and I went the other, because we're like happy new couple and want to explore everything. And we went around the hall and just looked at all the little products people had, and then we just saw an automatic writer. And what an automatic writer does is you ask a question and they answer it for you. Well, they communicate. And as it says here, automatic writing or psychography is an ability where a person writes word without consciously writing. The word comes from a subconscious, spiritual, or supernatural source. So again, you ask a person a question and they answer it. Seems fine, right? And at the time, I had a lot of angry feelings, and I just really want to know where it all came from. So I asked them, where does my anger come from? Because I'm angry, obviously. And because I'm Dutch, I just said in Dutch, waar komt mijn woede vandaan? Okay, so that took a few minutes, and he was writing and said, well, this might take a couple of more minutes, and just do your thing, come back later, and I have it ready for you, and I will explain what I wrote down and what it all meant. So Finn and I just left because he was communicating with his source and writing. And there was like this little old school type of bar with picnic tables, and we just sat down there, had a little break, and had something to drink. It was like, yes, we're talking, and like, what do you think? Where the anger comes from? I was like, I don't know. That's why I asked him, and just talking like that. And when we were sitting there, his mom and his sister came to us and was like, do you want to do something? Do you want to go to medium? I don't know, do something? And he was like, I don't need to. And we honestly thought, he doesn't believe in the spiritual stuff, right? He's just here for us, right? And it turns out, I asked him, it kind of creeps him out sometimes. Still trying peer pressure, like, you should do this. Let's see what the future has for you. Like, is your future going to be nice and bright and beautiful? Well, we asked her. Or it was sort of more like a hand reading type of thing, if I remember correctly. And yeah, we sat down and she read his hands, and the three of us were standing next to him like, oh, what's in your hands? What is she gonna say? And she told him he is a very playful person and is very youthful and young mind, but there were also some mother figures in his life that were a bit like too much, and we just looked at each other like, oop, let's not be too controlling. And well, we paid a nice lady and we talked about the results, and it was a bit like, maybe we shouldn't be too much like mothery for you. And we went back to the automatic writer and sat down. He looked at what he had written down. It was like, oh yeah, I have written a couple of things down. Well, looks at it, looks back at me. It was a few pages long. I know everything wasn't exactly on the lines because obviously it was automatic, and when you're just writing or taking notes very quickly, of course it's not going to be like all the way straight because automatic. And he decides the thing and just starts reading, and he starts like, God is a creator of the world, can be seen as a male but also as a female, as a mother, can be your mother. Now I look at Finn looks back, and we're like, what? I'm very confused, and I just let the man do his thing, right? Because he's the automatic writer. We came to you for a session, so you're right, you're communicating with your sources, so let's just roll with it. But in the end, it was like a bit like all about God and about like Bible stuff, and there's nothing wrong with it, but it didn't make any sense where my anger came from at all. Like, where does my anger come from? And you start talking about God and mother? It was just very weird. And then when he was just, the story builds up more and more, and I'm sitting there patiently thinking like, maybe you come to the part where my anger comes from. I don't know. And when he finished the entire thing, it was like, I would say a solid 10 minutes of talking. He said, dit is waar je moeder vandaan komt. Which literally translates to, this is where your mother comes from. And I just snapped. I couldn't even. And me, being the dramatic sassy bitch I was back then, Mother, I said anger. I asked you where my anger comes from, not my mother. I know where my mother comes from. My grandparents had sex. They had sex. Baby, you know, like how babies are made. And Finn's like, nope, I'm backing up. I want to leave now. And I'm thinking by myself, how? What? Why? And man looks at us and specifically tells us like, oh, you said your anger, not your mother. That explains a lot. Alright, thank you for watching. If you like hearing stories, let me know in the comments down below. I am now introducing a new thing to the channel, having a shout out for a viewer at the end of the video. So this video shout out is going to Lucas Recording. Thank you so much, Luke, for watching and for supporting me. And all in all, thank you all for watching as well, and for all your love and support. And hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video.